Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is CJP UFC Bets. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and like this video. Share the video and tell everyone you know about CJP UFC Bets. Just type it in on the search bar. It should pop up right there. Subscribe, like, and tell everyone you know. Tonight, we are breaking down UFC Fight Night, Calvin Kattar versus Arnold Allen, UFC Fight Night Vegas 63 at the UFC Apex. Another great card coming up next Saturday. Cannot wait to watch the fights again. But let's talk about UFC 80 real quick. What a great card, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of great fights happened on UFC 280. It was awesome. I went 9-3 on my picks, 4-5 on my bets. My bet record now is 96-48. So you already know the dude is good. The dude is good. So give me a subscribe. Give me a subscribe. Give me a like. Come on. The bets that I won. Belal Muhammad, I got him at plus 115 in a single bet, not parlay. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited that one of my dogs won. Belal Muhammad, I told you so. Just look back at my last video. I did choose him and I did bet him. And then I had Cara Rosa with Manal Furio in a parlay, thanks to a tip from Blood Money MMA Bets. Thanks so much, Cody, for that. Then we had the over 1.5 rounds. Nurmagomedov Gotsi fight with Nikita Krylov. That hit for me as well. That was a good little hit for me. And then my last bet that I won was the under 4.5 rounds. Oliveira Makhachev with Peter Yan with more than 2 takedowns in the fight, which was a very nice hit for me, if I do say so myself. So for the best that I lost was Charles Oliveira inside the distance. I did bet Charles Oliveira, and he was my dog of the card. Unfortunately, did not hit for me. And then I have the over 2.5 rounds Belal Muhammad Brady fight with Charles Oliveira in the parlay. I lost that bet. I lost the Manon Ferrio by KO with over 2.5 rounds Sterling Dillashaw parlay. I'm sorry, people. I had a lot of bets on this card because I was so excited and I had a lot of good feelings about it. But Barajo by submission with Peter Yan by KO. I had that in the parlay. I lost that bet. And the final bet, which was stupid of me, was TJ Dillashaw by KO or decision. I did sprinkle a little bit on that. Even though I did pick Aljamain Sterling to win the fight, I'll never do that again. I'll stick to my picks from now on. But tonight, we break down UFC Fight Night Vegas 63. Calvin Kattar versus Arnold Allen. It's going to be a great fight, folks. It's going to be a great card. And let's get to it right here. For UFC Fight Night, Kattar versus Allen. The first fight on the prelims is in the men's flyweight division. The fighters are Cody Durden versus Kleydson Rodrigues. Cody Durden, 13-4, 31 years old, 5'7", with a 67-inch reach. Then we have Kleydson Rodrigues, 7-2, 27 years old, 5'6", with a 67-inch reach. For Cody Durden, he's got pretty good wrestling and decent takedowns. He throws big looping punches in his fights to close the distance. He has pretty good scrambles and loves to chain wrestle. He also has good cardio to go along with his wrestling. For Kleydson Rodrigues, he's a pretty well-rounded fighter, mixes his strikes very well with solid power in his hands. He has pretty decent takedown defense, but needs some work on the takedown offense. He also has nice trips and throws from the clinch. This should be a very close fight. Should be a fun fight to watch. But my pick for this fight, I'm going with Kleydson Rodrigues by decision. For the next fight on the card, on the prelims, we have Christian Rodrigues versus Garrett Armfield in the bantamweight division. Christian Rodrigues, he's 7-1, 24 years old, 5'7" with a 71-inch reach. Then we have Garrett Armfield, 8-3, 26 years old, 5'6" with a 70-inch reach. And I'm sorry that my headphone keeps falling out of my ear. Got small ears, apparently. For Christian Rodrigues, he has very slick striking and smooth movement. He has pretty good speed. He's got a very good takedown defense, decent cardio, and loves to come forward when engaging in a slugfest with his opponents. For Garrett Armfield, he has a very good finishing ability, and he has finishes in all of his fights that he's won. He has fast hands, a decent amount of power, and he has good striking and stand-up. Also, he has pretty good wrestling with pretty decent takedown defense and offense. Should be another close fight here. I have Christian Rodrigues by decision. The next fight on the card, we have in the middleweight division, Roman Dolidze versus Phil Hawes. Roman Dolidze, 10-1, 34 years old, 6'2", with a 76-inch reach. Then we have Phil Hawes, 33 years old, 6'0", with a 77.5-inch reach. For Dolidze, he has very good grappling with very good power in his hands. He has decent takedowns, and he also loves to march forward in his fights. He throws big bombs at his opponents and just loves to go for the finish. Doesn't stop coming at you with pressure in his fights. For Phil Hawes, he has very good wrestling with a ton of power. Very explosive with very good striking and good wrestling. He has decent kicks and decent cardio. Not to mention, he's improving in each and every single one of his fights. Also, he's very athletic and very fast for his size. I like him in this fight, and that's why I'm picking Phil Hawes by KO. He's going to do it, folks. Let me tell you, he's got a ton of power in his hands. I love Phil Hawes. He's very fast, very athletic. I got him by KO. Bank on it. The next fight on the card is in the men's middleweight division. We have Joseph Holmes versus Yong Park. Joseph Holmes, he's 8-2, 27 years old, 6'4", with a 80-inch reach. Then we have Yong Park, 14-5, 31 years old, 5'10", with a 73-inch reach. For Joseph Holmes, he's a very tall and very rangy guy for the division. He has pretty decent grappling with good takedowns. He has a decent ground game, and if he gets on top of you, then he's got good top control, and you might not get back up. He also has very long limbs that he uses very effectively in his fights, and he's got a really good reach advantage and a decent height advantage in his fight. Oh man. For Yong Park, he has very nice jabs, decent cage control with solid setups and takedowns. He also has very solid striking, pretty good on his feet, and not to mention, he has solid cardio and can grind you out if needed. Should be a close fight. I was going back and forth here on this fight. I don't know. Still don't know who to pick, but my gut says Jun Yong Park will win this fight by decision. But I wouldn't recommend to tell me there. I'm not even going to bet this fight, to be honest. The next fight on the card is in the men's featherweight division. We have Chase Hooper versus Steve Garcia. Chase Hooper, he's 11-2, 23 years old, 6'1", with a 75.5-inch reach. Then we have Steve Garcia, 12-5, 30 years old, 6'0", with a 73-inch reach. For Chase Hooper, he's a young and upcoming prospect he has pretty solid grappling, dangerous on the ground, and very slick BJJ skills. He likes to chase submissions, Chase Hooper, and he loves to do leg locks, heel hooks, and he also has other sneaky submissions as well. He also has a very solid chin and decent cardio. For Steve Garcia, he has very solid grappling with good takedown offense and defense. He's got pretty decent boxing, likes to come forward at his opponents, and loves to do pressure on his feet with a decent amount of volume. This should be another close fight, but my pick for this fight, I gotta go with my dude Chase Hooper by submission. I might look into that depending on the number for that prop. I think Chase Hooper gets it done either by submission or decision. Hopefully is a good number. We'll see in a few days when that number comes out. The next fight is in the men's heavyweight division. We have Andrei Arlovski versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. For Arlovski, he's 34-20, 43 years old, 6'3", with a 77-inch reach. Then we have Marcos Rogerio de Lima. He's 19-6, 37 years old, 6'1", with a 75-inch reach. For Arlovski, he's still in the top 15 in the heavyweight division, and he's been in the UFC for a very long time. He did leave UFC for a little bit and came back, and he's in the top 15, a former heavyweight champion. That's incredible to me. He's got a ton of experience under his belt. He's got pretty decent boxing with a good amount of volume. Very solid kicks and some solid power in his hands. He's got good takedown defense, but he's getting up there in age. He is almost 44 years old. So he's getting a bit slow, and his power is diminishing little by little. For Rogerio de Lima, he's got decent striking with real power in his hands. He has decent ground game with solid leg kicks. Also, for a big guy, he does have pretty good volume himself. He also has pretty good wrestling. He really does. Look at his last fights. This should be a banger. I'm not going to bet this fight straight up. I might bet this fight doesn't go the distance. And that's why I'm going with Marco Rogerio de Lima by KO. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to stay tuned for our dog of the card and our lock of the card at the end of this video. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure to like us and tell everyone you know about UFC, CJP, UFC bets. Make sure to like us, subscribe, and stay tuned for more breakdowns. For the next fight on the card, we have... Excuse me 1 second. My computer just froze for a minute. Is on the main card. We made it to the main card, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be in the men's middleweight division. We have Tresean Gore versus Josh Fremd. And my headphone just fell out. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Give me 1 second. Let me pick it up. Alright, we're back. We have Tresean Gore, 3-2, 28 years old, 6'0", with a 75-inch reach. Then we have Josh Fremd, 9-3, 28 years old, 6'4", with a 76.5-inch reach. For Tresean Gore, he's got pretty decent striking with a lot of power and heavy hands. He's a very come-forward wrestler with good ones and twos. He's got good combos and likes to pressure his opponents with solid cardio. For Josh Fremd, he's a very tall and rangy fighter with good grappling. He's a very athletic and fast fighter. He's got okay wrestling with sneaky KO power in his hands. He also has some decent submissions to go along with it. My pick for this fight, I'm going with Tresean Gore. Tresean Gore by decision or possibly a KO. And make sure to write that down. Tresean Gore by decision or KO in that fight. The next fight on the card is in the men's heavyweight division. We have Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Jared Vanderaa. Waldo Cortes-Acosta, he's undefeated, 7-0, 31 years old, 6'4", with a 78-inch reach. Then we have Jared Vanderaa. He's 30 years old, 6'4", with a 80-inch reach. For Cortes-Acosta, he's got very good boxing with solid technical striking. He's got very heavy hands with good jabs. He also has pretty decent cardio and a good amount of volume. The dude is a stud, and I believe he will be a future heavyweight world champion. For Jared Vanderaa, he's coming off a 4-fight losing streak. The last fight he won was a year and 4 months ago against Dustin. So that's not a good look. But with that being said, he does have pretty decent volume with decent striking. He also has good long jabs with solid distance control. Not to mention, the guy does have decent wrestling as well. I gotta give him that. But my pick, very confident pick here, and I would put him in any parlay. I'm going with Waldo Cortes-Acosta by KO. Bank on it. The next fight on the card, which I'm very excited for, I'm looking forward to this, is in the men's light heavyweight division. We have Dustin Jacoby versus Khalil Rountree. We have Dustin Jacoby, 18-5, 34 years old, 6'3", with a 78-inch reach, which I love in this fight. Then we have Khalil Rountree, 10-5, 32 years old, 6'1", with a 74-inch reach. For Dustin Jacoby, he's got very good kickboxing with good leg kicks. He's got pretty solid striking with KO power. He also has decent amount of volume and loves to come forward at his opponents. A very gritty fighter and very tough, very good chin. For Rountree, he's got very solid Muay Thai skills with a lot of power in his hands for himself. He also is very fast and very athletic, likes to pressure forward, and has a finishing instinct. But he has iffy ground game, if I do say so myself. He's got some solid leg kicks, and he's pretty low volume. Doesn't throw many strikes in his fights. My pick for this fight, I love this guy. He's on a 4-fight winning streak here. Give me Dustin Jacoby. Dustin Jacoby by KO or a decision against Khalil Rountree. He's going to do it, man. Let me tell you. And now we're in the co-main event of the evening for UFC Fight Night. Calvin Kattar versus Arnold Allen at the UFC Apex UFC Fight Night Vegas 63 going down next Saturday. Cannot wait on October 29th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the prelims, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the main card. This should be another great card here coming off UFC 280. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure to like the video. CJP UFC Bets. For the co-main event is in the men's welterweight division. We have Tim Means versus Max Griffin. For Tim Means, he's 32-13, 38 years old, 6'2", with a 75-inch reach. Then we have Max Griffin, 18-9, 36 years old, with 5'11", with a 76-inch reach. For Tim Means, he's got a ton of experience in the UFC. He's a veteran. He's been in a ton of fights, and the dude, he's a tough fighter. He's got pretty decent striking, good wrestling. He's got solid takedowns with solid jiu-jitsu skills. He's got a really nice left that he throws down the pipe. Good punches to the body. Very durable, very tough. Should be a tough fight here for both gentlemen. For Max Griffin, he's another UFC veteran. He's seen his fair share of fights in the UFC. He's been in a lot of tough fights himself. He's got very solid striking. He's got KO power. He also has good grappling, good takedowns, and he's dangerous on the feet. He can knock anyone out at any given time if he connects to the chin. This should be a close fight here. I'm probably not going to bet this fight. I might look at some props depending on the numbers. But give me Tim Means by decision in this fight. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it pretty fast here. I'm pretty sure if we had Jason on this video, it would be longer with better insight, and I do apologize that he did not make it on his behalf. Hopefully he does make it to our next episode, which drops next Sunday. It was supposed to be, who was it? I believe it was Bryce Mitchell against Evolve, and that fight got canceled, so I'm not sure who's the main event. I think it's Lemos. Yeah, Amanda Lemos. I think she's in the main event, but I forgot who she's fighting. I will get that information to you here shortly. But in the main event of the evening for UFC Fight Night in Vegas, UFC Fight Night Vegas 63 at the Apex, we have in the main event in the featherweight division, Calvin Kattar versus Arnold Allen. Calvin Kattar, 23-6, 34 years old, 5'11", with a 72-inch reach. Then we have Arnold Allen, 18-1, 28 years old, 5'8", with a 70-inch reach. For Calvin Kattar, he's got excellent crisp boxing, very good striking. He also has very solid chin. He takes a lot of big shots to the chin, and he stays standing there like it's nothing. He also has very good cardio with a good amount of volume. He's got a very good takedown defense, but a terrible takedown accuracy. He also is very accurate with his punches and one of the toughest fighters in the featherweight division. Guaranteed this should be a banger. For Arnold Allen, he's got very good striking himself and loves to come forward. He's got very solid power, pretty decent footwork to go along with that power. He also has got very solid takedowns, sneaky submissions that he throws from time to time. He can be hittable at times, but he is fast and loves to pressure his opponents. This fight is going to be a banger, folks. Let me tell you, this should be a banger. I'm going with my dude. From Boston, Calvin Kattar, by decision, or maybe, just maybe, even a knockout. I can see that because Calvin Kattar does have power in his hands. He's fast and he's very crisp with his boxing. As I said, the dude can pick his shots, and if he wears Arnold Allen down later in the rounds, all he has to do is knock or connect to the chin right on the button, and he's done. But if he doesn't do that, I do see a decision win for my dude from Boston, Calvin Kattar. Bank on it. I'm not sure if I'll bet him though, because I'm not 100%. Arnold Allen is a great fighter. But yeah, that was our breakdown and predictions for UFC Fight Night in Vegas. UFC Fight Night Vegas 63. Calvin Kattar versus Arnold Allen at the UFC Apex. Do not miss it next week, Saturday, October 29th at the UFC Apex, live on ESPN. And ladies and gentlemen, our next video will drop the very next day, October 30th. Hopefully Jason can make it and give his predictions, give his breakdowns, because I know you guys love them. So give us a like, give us a subscribe, and thank you so much for all of the support. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned. Dog of the card and lock of the card coming up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is CJP UFC Bets. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share us, spread the word, and we thank you for all your support. So this is my dog of the card. My dog of the card is Tresean Gore, and I got him at plus 148. I do think he wins that fight against Josh Fremd. Do not recommend y'all to tell me there, but I have faith in Tresean Gore. I do think he knows in his mind if he does not win this fight, he might get cut, and that's why he's my dog of the card. Dude has a lot of power in his hands. Good wrestling that we haven't seen yet, but I have seen. I don't know about you guys. I've seen his wrestling on the regional scene, and he can do it, man. He can wrestle. And he also can knock you out. So Josh Fremd, good luck against Tresean Gore. He's my dog of the card. And stay tuned for our locks of the card coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. CJP UFC Bets. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share us. We appreciate all of your support, and we hope you continue to watch our stuff. And this is my lock of the card. And we're also going to reveal our bets. My lock of the card for UFC Fight Night Vegas 63, Kattar versus Allen, is Waldo Cortes-Acosta at minus 210. I just believe that Vanderaa with a 4-fight losing streak is no bueno, and Cortez has very, very heavy hands, good amount of power, and if he connects to the chin of Vanderaa, it is night. Guaranteed. And I will tell you to tell that pick, because he's going to do it. He's going to win that fight. So my bets so far for the card, I got Tresean Gore in a single bet just by himself. Tresean Gore at plus 148. And then I got my second bet. I have a 2-team parlay with Dustin Jacoby minus 174. And I got Waldo Cortes-Acosta minus 110. So Jacoby and Acosta in a parlay. And I got that at plus 132. Those are my 2 bets so far for UFC Fight Night in Vegas. UFC Fight Night Vegas 63. Kattar versus Allen at the UFC Apex. Our next video drops on Sunday, October 30th. And hopefully Jason can join us for that. Thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you next time for CJP UFC Bets.